So, um, when I was like 28, I got my first job that was like a real job, and I got an interview with a company called Guidant Corporation in Temecula, California, and I had to go through a temp agency to get it because they don't hire direct. And it was my first mass interview. There was lots of candidates. I did the interview. I was late. There was traffic, and it was fine. I got the job. I started working swing shift. I love the hours because I'm not a morning person, and it was great. I got off midnight, came home, and I started working there, and I worked with the catheters, the guiding catheters for stents and the circulatory system. So we make the ones that go down the neck. We make the ones that go from the leg up into the heart, and it was pretty cool. We did pediatrics as well, and my station was at the point where I put the tip on the catheter so that it would not tear the veins and arteries when it entered the body. So that flexible tip, and each one had a different makeup and had to be assembled just right, and it had to be the piece had to look exactly the same on the catheter device as it did before I picked it up. So if by putting it on, the braided wire, if it scratched it, if it warped it, if it changed it at all, it would fail. So it was very precise. You had to do it quickly, and you had to be exact. And so I was, by my boss's words, the second best, fastest, accurate person doing this, and the only other person better than me had retired. So I was pretty stoked. Yeah. I was told that I could work as a temp for up to a year before they pick up my contract, and I worked there for a month and got offered the permanent position. Took about a month to get through the process, and so second month I was a permanent employee. At that time they were changing from Guidant to Abbott, so they became Abbott Vascular, Abbott Laboratories. I believe it's the same thing. So I was working, and then we moved from the Temecula site over to the Wildomar site. Not Wildomar, but like off of Winchester Road. And so from Inez over to Winchester. And I worked there for a whole year. And up until that point, I'd never worked longer than 3 months anywhere. And it's not saying a lot because I didn't work much. I was late in everything. I mean, I was late leaving the home. I was late getting a driver's license. I was late every step of the way. I mean, human development seemed to be delayed on me or something, but I was the last one to do everything. So I was excited when I hit my 1 year mark. Working 1 year at a company, I got a year in, and I was like, okay, this is my future, you know? I went out to dinner. I went to, like, you're gonna laugh, but I went to Red Lobster. I mean, that was a big deal for me. I mean, and so the next day, because my 1 year anniversary was on a Sunday, Monday, come in, and they said don't clock in. Not just to me, but to like everybody. We're like, okay, so don't clock in. And we're all sitting in the break room, and we're talking, and small groups are being called, and then that's the last we see of them. So the rumors are going around. What's going on? Yeah, it was layoffs, and they were laying everybody off, but they had to do the exit interview. They give you your package, have you sign your documents, and if you sign a document agreeing to everything, and you won't, I guess, retaliate or make trouble or something, you get extra money, which is not a lot, but you just lost your job. So I went through the interview, and the head of HR, they got the tables, they got like several tables, so they're doing groups, letting them know, you know, your job is gone, it's over, you know, you get to find out what your package is, what you're being offered. They tell you about the Cobra program, and I was like, what is this? I have never been just laid off before, and that was like a wake-up call. Like, it wasn't nothing that the employees did. It was just they needed to look better on paper, and so they needed to cut some costs, and the people were the cost. We were the human resource. We were basically the most expensive thing, and they had been stockpiling our work for a while. And it's weird to work and then not. So it was interesting. And the lady next to me, she was interviewing my coworker, and that lady was that was Karen, and that was my husband's boss, because my husband worked at the company too. And so my husband was a supervisor, I was just an operator. Operators, different level, but different department. So he was doing the stent department, I was in the catheter department. So his boss is sitting there, and she got, she's like, has a personal issue with us. And that's like a whole other video. But she has like a personal agenda when it came to myself and my husband. And it's why he got his walk-in papers the month before. So we saw it coming. I had been stressed, but it's fine, you know. So I find out, okay, yeah, I'm getting laid off. And my lady, she's like reading my name, and she's like, oh, Braxton. I know a Braxton. I know Dennis Braxton. I was like, oh, that's my husband. She's like, yeah, he's a good friend. I said, I know, he's an awesome guy. Yeah, we're newly married. She's like, wow, good for him. She's like, where is he? I said, he got laid off. And she's like, oh. And she's, okay. So she gives me my package, and she says, you know what? You are eligible for rehire. So if we hire again, you can reapply, and you can get your job again. You know, when things change. Because, you know, companies fluctuate. They hire and they fire. That's what they do. So I was like, that's okay. My husband doesn't want me to work. And I said, And I was meaning it too, because my husband only had me working for the something to put on my resume. And so I was like, we're doing good. You know, I'll just go home. I go back to school, whatever. And she was like, oh, that's good. It's so nice to be in that situation. And I just know that the lady next door is deceiving, but, you know, because she wanted us to be in pain and hurting. But I left with my papers, called up my husband, come get me. He's like, what's going on? I said, I don't work there no more. I'm done. He's like, what happened? I said, we all got laid off. 800 of us that day in Temecula got laid off. I think they did another 200 in Ireland. I think it was like 1,000 altogether. It was crazy. It was December 5th, because my anniversary was on the 4th. December 5th, 2007. My first job that had like medical benefits and a 401k, which I'll talk about that later in a different video, because I really did not even know what that was. I'm asking my husband, I'm looking for my retirement plan. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, I keep finding this 401k thing. I'm looking for my pension. And he's like, that's the retirement right there. That's it. I was like, oh. So that's just it. But yeah, I worked. I loved my job, because every device that I made was helping somebody. I know I can't be a doctor. I don't have the stamina. I don't have the steady hand. No, I can't be a nurse. I don't have the patience. You know, I don't have the passion. But what I do have is the ability to be very precise, to be fine doing the exact same thing over and over again. I did it well, and I think about the people it helped. You know, I contributed somehow to helping people, and it made me very proud. I made lots of devices. I mean, hundreds flew across my desk every day. We had to keep up with the flow. So I was proud of my job, and I liked it. You know? And so afterwards, I don't have much of a work history after that job. Basically, that's when I became a full-time caregiver. I had children. I went through college. I was staying home with children. And then recently I started working again. I mean, I had a job for a couple months here and there, but trying to bridge the gap between my husband's employments and stuff. But basically, when it came down to it, when the kids needed to be cared for, it was me caring for them. I was a caregiver. 2022, he's retired. So he gets his money just rolling in, and he stay home with the kids, which is great. And now I go to work. Now I work in the mailroom at HMSA for a company called First Source. And I process medical claims that come in. So you see your doctor fills out a claim and sends it to the insurance company. My job is to make sure that claim gets to the right department so it can be processed as quickly as possible. So we have to sort it, we have to open it, we have to categorize it, we have to put it into the computer system and digitally copy it, and we hold on to those files for a certain amount of time before we discard them, because we have to verify that everything is correctly scanned in, categorized, right department, because sometimes there's multiple insurances and all that stuff, so they gotta make sure everything is good before we discard, because if they need a rescan, we have to have a copy to rescan. And so hopefully these process and everybody gets the medical treatments they need, bills get paid, things keep moving. You know, patients don't wait forever for something that they need. Doctors don't wait forever to treat them. You know, so pretty happy with my job here. Also love that it's air conditioning because I'm dying out here in the heat. Oh, I love Hawaii, but yeah, I thought I was good with heat in California, but apparently I don't do well with heat. And I don't do well with cold. That really, I guess so, not Earth, because there's always some place that's either hot or cold, so there's that. But air conditioning during the day, I'm good at night, so it's all working out. Alright. So, Guyton became Abbott. Abbott laid me off. Many years later, now I'm working again. But that was my first job. And so, that was fun.